live. We're all centered. I am so happy to be here. We're having another Saturday morning moment because we've been moving those moments around a little bit. But for those that watch in real time, we're here on a Saturday moment. We are all together, and I am very grateful for the opportunity as always. This is a series entitled A Moment of Harmony, which jumps, or I'm not going to say jumps, we transition from one element of healing to another element of healing in groups of mini series. So we came out of a 20-week series a while ago now, 25-week series of affirmations. We are currently in a 32-week series entitled A Matter of Moments, which is a series of moments. And then we will graduate to a series of a matter of no, it's not going to be entitled a matter. We're in a matter of moments now. We're going to be in a declaration series following this series. And we are going to be meeting up in the in between time. We have a prayer and purge underway. We have a prayer and purge underway, guys. We are preparing to meet up at the end of the year on January the 7th to do some in-person purging, praying, connecting, healing, restoring, and revitalizing. We are taking these moments that we have here virtually and all the moments that we've had in person from month to month, and we are coming together with what we've learned, with our tools, with what we've been holding on to, with what we are letting go of, and we are pouring them out in our annual prayer and purge, the first time in person for 2023. So you want to get your registrations in for that. That is $50 a person, and you only need to inbox or text or call to be put on that registration list, okay? We will stop registration at the end of December so that we have a total final count and everyone has all the goodies that are going to be coming with this prayer and purge. So, but we're taking all of our virtual moments, all of our in-person moments, and they all culminate to the end of the year at this prayer and purge. So I'm so excited that we are moving and working towards that. Let's go, hey ho, hey ho. Okay, so let's get into today's moment. Today's moment is entitled Spiritual Moments. And I have told you guys in the past, for those that have been following us, our entire journey on Facebook, on YouTube. We started out on Facebook. We moved to YouTube almost a year ago now. And it has been a journey. But since we've been on YouTube was when this moments matter, a matter of moments, that portion began part way into our YouTube journey. So we've gotten into this segment. And what I've been saying about the session that we've been in is that my life has been mirroring all 32 moments in each and every week. So talk about the power of manifestation, the power of divine alignment, because it has been real. I probably should have foretold, or I should have made the topics probably more positive, more full of light and joy. But instead, I went in the direction of healing. Where is it that we really need to go to heal? Where is it that we really need to be to evolve? Where are our breakthrough? I chose 32 breakthrough moments so that we would heal. And oh my gosh, I am living every one of them every week. This has been the roughest year for me in a very long, long time. I can't even really recall off the top of my head, other than the year that my brother was murdered, that a year was so rough for me. This has been a rough 2022 has been biting me. And this is the year I do my I do our matter of moments, and we're going through this intentional healing, this intentional digging, this intentional exploration, excavating, if you will, of self in order to re-put together, regather, and regrow. So this is what I brought on myself this year. But we are in spiritual moments, and this has been a week. It has been a year, But this week also has been a week as it pertains to the spirit, as it pertains to the soul's needs, the growth, the healing of the soul. A crazy one, y'all. This was one of those put your hands up and give it over type of weeks. And the reason that I would say maybe even yesterday is kind of when I reached the apex in the week of I'm done. I kind of just got to the point of like, I have taken about as much as one person can take. Good morning, my love. Oh my God, I miss you so much. Y'all, it's my bestie on the line. She is so busy. This is the busiest woman. And I have all the children. And she's busier than me. This woman. So, but I love her and it's happy. I'm so happy to see her face. But I reached a point within the week. Oh, I do want to send out one more shout out before we get deep into our moment, because we're gonna get into this moment, y'all. Happy birthday to my daughter in love. She turns 26 today. So giving happy birthday love to her. I wish her much growth, greatness, beauty, and blessings. And I'm always grateful for my fat, chunky, wonky grand girl. So thank y'all. But okay, moving forward. Spiritual moments. We're in a spiritual moment today. When I reached that point in my week where I felt like tap out, the tap out came in. I pretty much was like, I have taken about as much as one person can take in all areas of my life. I have about sacrificed as much as I could. I've been disciplined. I've been loyal. I have been focused. I've been hardworking. I have done everything I feel I can do to transform and maintain the sanity and condition of my life. Hi, boo boo. And life is not giving me what I'm asking for. And there was a conflict, definitely hit an apex yesterday where I was just like, I'm done. I'm done with the whole part of life. Now, I'm not talking about suicide. I would never be in that type of a position. I'm not saying I don't sometimes understand why people go ahead and pull that plug on themselves, but I would never be in that position for myself. Spiritually, I just don't believe in that. And I do believe that the hard times, the conflicts, the struggles are meaningful. They're purposeful. They are not cruelty, even though it feels pretty cruel sometimes. So I always keep that in mind. So I would never pull the plug when greatness is right around the corner, because it always is, guys. It really always is. And I'm telling y'all this as an exhausted person, as a frustrated person, as a person seeking stability and peace in my days. In the rest of my 2022, can I catch a break? I'm telling you, I still know. I still know. And I want you to still know that greatness is right around the corner. But I had reached that point in my week where I was just like, I am done. I'm done trying to be my best at work. I'm done trying to be the best mom. I'm done trying to be the best partner to heal and restore. I am just tapping all the way out. Tired of budgeting my finances. I'm tired of mending relationships. I'm tired of being present for others. I am done. Okay, I've reached that point spiritually, a breaking point of just the literal sentiment out of my mouth verbally was, I cannot do this. I can't do this anymore. I've taken all I can take. I don't want to do any of it anymore. I don't want to do any of it anymore. How does a person get to that place in their day, in their year, in their week, in their lives? How do you throw in the towel? And I'm going to tell y'all something. Not even bragging, as humbly as I can convey, I'm a tough chick. This one is a tough one. It takes a lot to get under my skin. It takes a lot to exhaust me. I'm highly motivated. I'm full of thought. I'm full of intention in my movements. So you can kick me. I'm going to keep it moving. I'm going to see you for who you are, explore this situation for what it is, analyze it, and I'm going to move towards where I want to be because I like a happy space. I'm very fond cheerleader of a happy space. So, in order for an individual like myself to get to a point in their week where they are just like, this, you know what, is for the birds. I am not doing this. I could clean walk away from my life right now and not return. And not turn back because I'm tired of it all. Exhaustion. How do you get to that place? That brings me to our moment today of spiritual moments. We are reaching places of spiritual depletion, spiritual exhaustion, spiritual conflict, because we live in a constantly immoral, backwards, and anti God like environment. And it is pulling when you don't know that it's pulling. It's destructive when you don't even feel it's destruction. It is distracting when you don't even realize you're being disconnected from your spiritual self. So when we talk about spiritual moments, as I'm defining a spiritual moment for myself, it is moments that pull you or connect you, pull you away from or connect you to your purest self. Now, when we look at it like that, there are so many things that pull us away from the purest versions of ourselves. Those are spiritual moments in the negative. There are things out there that bring us back to, highlight, illuminate, show us, and remind us of the purest parts of ourselves. Those are divine moments in the positive. I'm sorry, spiritual moments, because we have done divine moments. This is spiritual moments, and there is a slight difference. So spiritual moments, our purest version of ourselves, untainted, untampered with, unbroken, right? As rare as we think those are, those moments, that part of us, that's our spiritual connection. There are things that will disconnect us. There are things that will help connect us to that part of ourselves. Spiritual moments. Your purest self, the things that bring you to, the things that bring you away from the purest version of yourself. These are the spiritual moments. Now, my king has a term that he uses frequently. I believe he has obtained this from his spiritual studies, and he uses the term God consciousness often. God consciousness when we're talking to the children, when we're going about what, and Lord knows us ourselves are in need of all the God consciousness we can gather. But he always is using the term God consciousness. And when I think of spiritual moments, it's literally the term that pops in my head when I think about our spirit, our spiritual state, our spiritual beingness, our spiritual completion. It's holisticness. I think about God consciousness. So when I am saying, in my definition of bringing you closer to your purest version of yourself or pulling you away from your purest self, I am in essence thinking about that term, God consciousness. These are your spiritual moments. And spiritual moments, just like every moment, can be connected to others, can be affected by others, but are all about you. Again, just like all of our moments can be connected to others, can be affected by others, but are all 100% about you. Your spiritual moments come from you. Your spiritual moments are maintained by you. You are the responsible gatekeeper of your spirit and the connection that it has to the Creator. And the Creator is always going to bless you with what it is you need. So now that we're talking about having what you need for spiritual health, let's go into how we reach those points. We reach those points. If you know that you're endowed with whatever you need for your spiritual health, your spiritual growth, and your spiritual victories, the levels and achievements that you make spiritually in your life, if you have it all in you to have it, how are you reaching a point in your life like myself where you are done? And I reached it emotionally, where I just was, became very emotional and distressed, emotional distress. But there are some of us that reach those points, and it's not always a fit of rage. It's not always a fit of emotional sadness. It is intoxication, promiscuity, it is vulgarity, it is a lack of care for self, whether it is hygienic or emotional, letting your bills slip and slide, letting your responsibilities slip and slide, isolating yourself, slipping into depression, slipping into overeating, all of those habits. So, spiritual imbalances, they come up in all areas. And I reached a point this week where I had a major imbalance. And the imbalance was putting me in a defeated state of I give up. You know what? Have it. You want it? Have it. I literally was in that. You want my kids? You want my money? You want the house? You want my relationship? You want my sanity? I'm tired of fighting for it. I'm tired of pouring into it. I'm exhausted. Everybody is not going to resonate with where I am and where I was this week. But there's a few of you that are going to say, yep, I did that. I was like, to hell with it all. That's spiritual imbalance. How do we get a spiritual imbalance? Because we have it all. I want us to think about a bank account. This is the analogy we're going to use throughout this entire moment. Think about a bank account. Think about the resources and the funds in this account, and think about the misuse of them and the chaos that it plays on your life. When we reach a spiritual imbalance, it is because we have been imbalanced in spiritual deposits, spiritual investments, spiritual withdrawals, and spiritual repair. I know a lot of y'all inboxed me about the notes, so I'm going to go through that one more time. And definitely for those that aren't watching in real time, you have the luxury of the rewind. When we are faced with spiritual imbalance, and again, that plays out as defeat, it plays out as depression, anger, the use of substance abuse, intoxifying yourself, vulgarity or inappropriate behaviors, frustration, fighting, negativity with yourself and others. I have battled with negative thoughts. I've battled with negative language more in these past couple of weeks than I ever have. And for anyone that knows me in real life, I'm really like a ball of sunshine. I really am. I feel that way about myself all the time. And then it's reflected and reiterated from others. It ain't been so bright over here. And then you have to get to the self of like, dang, you're kind of being a little edgy about a couple of things. What's happening? What is happening? And this can be my season that I'm feeling this way. Some of you may just be experiencing season. Some of you have been in a personality deficient or deficit. You've been there, you've been in that deficit in your character your entire life or the majority of your life. Some of you could just be that, there's been a life-altering experience that have you permanently set in a spiritual imbalance. An amputation of a leg, a diagnosis of cancer, the loss of a loved one. There are things that happen that bring about the spiritual imbalance. And on a moment of harmony, we are going to talk about bringing that balance back together. Being back in spiritual balance. Now, quickly, I'm going to go into a little bit of numerology. I know there are some people that are burdened by it, bored by it. They're not into the numerology. I'm going to do it real quick. This is a 6th year. I was born on the 6th of the month I was born in. So I am a 6 person. Not my life path number, but your day number, 6. I'm a 6 person, and there's 6 individuals out there. And there's attributes and personality traits with those individuals if you are a studier of numerology. And I study all the signs, astrology, numerology. I study all the histories. I'm a studier of life in general. So all of it's in there. So when we get in, I'm just only bringing this in for the spiritual connectivity of things, right? rough year for me. I'm a 6 individual. This is a 6 year, 2022, 2022. When we're talking about the, the numeric system here, westernized numeric system, or, their calendar keeping. 2022, this is a 6 year. I'm a 6 person in a 6 year. All my major years are reaching, 6. I'm coming up on the 6 year of my brother's murder anniversary. 6 year in my union. Six is happening all over the place in a 6 year. A 6 year is a year of, supposed to be a year of harmony, ironically, but a year of stability, a year of pretty much harmony, and a year of freedom. Now, for those of us that run anything, you run a family, you run a business, anything more than your mouth, if you're running more than your mouth, you understand that harmony is not something that just happens. You don't just obtain harmony. When people come into an environment that works well and it's smooth running, when you have created something that is beautiful, that is productive, you know that the behind the scenes is a it show. It's a what show. Harmony is not just obtained. There's a lot of hard work that goes into harmony, into balance, into mayat. It's strenuous. So when we're in a 6 year, that's why I'm so excited about the new year. Y'all gonna see me dancing around 2023 because it will be a 7 year. 7 is a number of perfection. And just like those, biblically, the creator was to have, or for those, that believe they're allegorical stories, the creator built the world in 6 days and rested on the seventh day. Y'all, I've been working in this 6 year, and I'm ready for a year of rest, of peace, of the fruit of my harvest. So I'm looking forward to that 7. But in the 6, in a year of harmony that is supposed to represent peace and togetherness, freedom, obtaining freedom doesn't just happen. It is coming with work. It is coming with turmoil. Obtaining happiness comes with trial and error, revitalization, revision. Okay? All of that is a part of your harmony. All of that is a part of your peace. All of that is a part of your victory. No one is victorious without a battle. You can't just walk around with the champ belt out, right? Iron Mike, he got that belt, that championship belt, but he had to knock some people out. He had to constantly fight, be undefeated for the victory of the belt. So when a lot of us want to get to achieving this peace, we say, oh, you know what? This is going to be a year of achievements for me. This is going to be a time of stability. This is going to be a time of renewal. I'm going to be in my season of growth. My marriage is going to be at a place of stability. My children are going to be at a place of health. I myself am going to be at a place of tranquility. Understand that you are signing up for battles to be won. And the only way for us to have give and take in these battles, where these battles are not taking more or seemingly taking more than they're given or giving, is with your spiritual balance. Okay. Spiritual deposits. So when we're at that point, we're feeling all the imbalance because the spirit is serious. Y'all know I love my favorite saying that I heard from Professor Griff. I am harmony having a human, I'm a spirit having a human experience called harmony because spirit is first. As below, as above, so below. When your spirit is out of line, your life is out of line. When your spirit is unhealthy, your physical is unhealthy. When your spirit is distraught or distracted, your life is distraught or distracted. When there's chaos here, there's chaos there. I'm trying to tell you, if you stay prayed up, you stayed up. Think back on those times. When you were prayed up, you stayed up. Okay, but when you brought it down, when you let doubt slip in, when you let lethargy lethargy slip in, when you let any distractions come into your life, when you let those deceit and deception and pain and frustration and low vibe, soon as you gave it the way averages work, I'm gonna come back into this analogy. Averages work in a way that it's not about every single number. It's about the weight of each number and how they average out. You know, when people have the statistic, the average person, or when we go in the average amount of days, you know, your child was absent, or the average amount of the success of your child for that day. It's not about every moment. An average raises and lowers with each moment, but the average comes out with the consistency. So you can be on your up and up, being positive, being good, eating healthy, but then you have a cheat day, or you allow a toxic person into your body, into your life, a situation that you indulge in that brings down the average. It brings down the value of your overall level. So there are times when you have to sit back and say, what have I indulged in? What have I interacted with? What if I gave some of my spirit? What have I invested? And we're going to get in my spirit into some ways that was counterproductive, because now my average is low. You know, and I love it. There's a gospel song that says, all of my good days outweigh my bad days, so I won't complain. We're talking about an average. An average. It doesn't mean I don't fall short. It doesn't mean I don't have hard days. But I'm saying, how do we get the average back up? How do we get our balance back? We have to look at that budget. We have to look at our spiritual budgets. What are we depositing? What are we investing? What are we withdrawing? And how are we repairing? So spiritual deposits. What are spiritual deposits? Peace, y'all. What are spiritual deposits? Our spiritual deposits become the things that we put into ourselves, and not just our good time selves, bath times and getting our nails done. Those things are good. They're good for me. Our spiritual deposits are the things that we all the things, hit myself in the mouth, all the things that we are taking time to put into our spiritual beingness. Not just paying your bills on time, that's physical. Not just working out, which I love, that's physical. Now I have spiritual components to it with my prayer and my meditation. But is it adding up balance wise to all I'm exposing my spirit to? So I can't have a couple of minutes of a deposit into myself when I have hours of withdrawals. I can't have a couple of minutes of deposit when I have hours of withdrawals. I can't have a couple of days of deposit when I have weeks of withdrawals. We're talking about a spiritual imbalance. And our spiritual moments are the moments that connect us to our purest self. That's a place you want to be in an impure, irrational, immoral society. You want to be connected to a strong spiritual platform. It's the only way. It is your IV in this life. Getting to now, I work with the elderly and the disabled, and I had the beautiful pleasure of working with someone 104 years old. That is a long life. That's a lot of living. And you can't get to that time period, however long you're going to live. You're not trying to go all that way, not connected to something great. You don't get that far in a positive mindset and mind frame, gathering the wisdom and life that you desire without a proper spiritual connection, without proper spiritual balance. So, our spiritual deposits are those things we are putting into ourselves. Now, a lot of us, I know me as a mom, I'm growing out of it. But there was a time when I looked at these things as luxuries, as things I do as rewards, as things I do in my free time. This is why I lost it. I don't have the time to sit and work on my book that gives me my spiritual fulfillment. The time to deposit into myself, my growth, my exploration of self. This is what makes me feel good. But I'm helping, I'm giving, I'm supporting. Then I reach my place in this week of defeat, spiritual imbalance. We cannot look at our deposits as luxuries. No more than we can look at that direct deposit from work as a luxury. Let your job choose when it's a good time to pay you. You suffer immediately. Well, I have to put gas in my car right now. I have to eat right now. I got people that are going to be asking me for Chipotle and field trip money and new book bags soon as I walk in the house. BGE is going to be on the soon as I walk in. The bill is going to be right there. I have debts. Before you pay me, I have debts. I cannot afford for you to decide when you're going to deposit my check. And your life and your spirit works that way. You cannot afford to make decisions on when, if you are going to have spiritual deposits. They're vital. The withdrawals are happening. What happens when that gym membership, that automatic payment, that car insurance, that automatic payment, children are automatic withdrawals? For y'all that don't know, businesses, automatic withdrawals, marriages, relationships, unions, automatic withdrawals. They're coming out whether you're given permission or not, whether you have it or not. So what happens on an automatic withdrawal when you don't have the funds in there to cover an automatic withdrawal? A deficiency. What is it called? I'm trying to think of what the actual imbalance is called. Y'all know, some of y'all know what it's called, because then the bank gives you a fee. I'm having a brain blank out with that. But the deficiency happens in your account. When you have that automatic withdrawal, what is that called, New? I'm so glad you're here. What is it called what is the imbalance called, New, when you, oh my gosh, the bank takes money out, you didn't have it in there. It's called a what? Why? It's going to bug me, y'all. That's my Aquarius mind. It's going to drive me crazy that I can't find the word and the time. But automatic withdrawals, okay? They're going to be automatic. You go ahead, them automatic withdrawals going to come out. You haven't been depositing. You haven't been refilling. You haven't been restoring. You haven't been replacing. And they're taking. And this is how you reach that moment of depletion. This is how you reach that moment of imbalance. This is how you get to the point of, I have nothing left. And I was there in this yesterday. Y'all, this is 24 hours ago. I was there. I have nothing left to give. I have nothing. Overdraft. See, that's my best friend. That's my best friend. Yes, Bessie. Because you know I was going to not even be able to get through the rest of this moment. Keep trying to think of that word. Now I'm freed up. Thank you. Overdraft. There you go. You get an overdraft. And life is full of those. When you are not dropping those spiritual deposits, when you're not getting up and being intentional about your routine every morning, when you're not getting up and being intentional about the things that your spirit needs, the quiet space, the calm music, the reflection, the affirmations, the acknowledgments of life. I say the acknowledgments of what's going on around you, to be able to sit and say, I want to say, I want to do, I want to thank my goals today. When you are not having what you need. And I'm saying life will look, I go light my candle, put my jazz on while I'm getting ready. Don't stop them children from coming to snitch, coming to take away, coming to do all of the, take away. I'm trying to make a deposit. You on the other end of my deposit, and I'm trying to put it in. You must find a space. You must, whether it is taking some time to read something that is going to spiritually uplift and fulfill you, playing something, making it mandatory. Sometimes I tell my children, we are quiet. There is no noise from this destination until I am done listening to my meditation CD. Because I am in need of a spiritual deposit that y'all are going to have no problem giving me an overdraft about. And everybody doesn't have children, but you have elements of your life that are going to take from you, whether you give it permission. They're not going to ask, they're going to require of you, and you must make a spiritual deposit. It is mandatory that I don't pick and choose when I deposit within myself. It is mandatory that I do not let others, this is spiritual investments. We're going into that. Spiritual investments. It is mandatory that I do not put my finances, my resources into individuals. This is the monetary metaphor. If I invest in things that aren't going to give back to me, there is going to be a giving and not a take. There is going to be an imbalance. So if I am constantly putting in, I would make Kingdom go to karate. I would recruit the homies. Please take him to karate on things that I couldn't, because his karate costs me a lot of money every month. And my thing is, what I'm not going to do is keep on paying this high karate bill, and you don't go to karate. You don't focus. You don't have your belt. You don't have your uniform. You showed up and you're sitting on the bench because of your actions. You're going to bring some balance to my investment. And when you leave up out of here, them bullies better know a thing or two about Kingdom Logan, okay? Because of my investment. Also because I love you. But the investment. My thing is, we make spiritual investments that we do not see returns on. We make spiritual investments that do not deem themselves worthy of an exchange. We go into an exchange and it has only been a withdrawal. We go into a situation, we go and we enter into something for it to be an exchange. We're paying for a school with a service, we're paying for an education that is not benefiting us. We're connected to a relationship that is not fulfilling us. We're connected to an environment that is not developing us. We are having spiritual investments. I am coming out, I am giving in hopes of sustained exchange. And what I meant to be an exchange has been only a withdrawal. It have only been a drain. If I go into a deal, I expect a deal. When I go into the grocery store, I expect to give you money for food. My money is my investment into my nutrition and into my health. But if I walk into the grocery store and I come out with junk, that is not a proper investment. I will be sick and hurt for that. I will be broke and sick. If I walk into the grocery store and I give my money and I walk out with nothing, imbalance, malnutrition, you are going to be hungry, depleted, in a deficit. And we are doing that on a regular. We are giving to jobs that are not giving what it is. They give us a check, but they're not giving what we give. We're giving spiritually, emotionally. We're giving our skills. We're giving our talents. And the balance of the investment, it's not being paid back. We're investing our whole selves. We're sacrificing our personal lives, our work-life balance for a paycheck that is not always a balanced investment. And jobs, relationships, engagements with self, we're not making the proper spiritual investments. And what do spiritual investments look like? I no longer have the luxury of having or exposing my spirit to anything that will not benefit it. Most of the time when we come home from work, the biggest investment we make into self is rest. Some of us who have that luxury, I don't know who those people are, but some of us. Meaning that the biggest spiritual investment you make is sitting still in front of the TV, eating a meal. It is not sufficient for what you have been spiritually exposed to and what is being spiritually demanded of you. So you're going to sit in front of the TV. You're going to play a video game. You're going to smoke a cigarette or whatever you think is bringing you relief is not the same as a spiritual investment. I have been through today, therefore I need to hear a sermon. I need to watch a lecture. I need to be reminded. I need to be fulfilled. I need to be uplifted. I need to go and write. It brings me spiritual relief, growth. That's an investment. I need to write my book. I need to write a poem. I need to have individuals around me. Do not call me after I have been drained and depleted to gossip. Do not call me to talk about the dumb. I don't care about election season. I'm trying not to kill myself. And I'm not saying I don't care about election season. I'm talking about individuals who don't understand when you're in need of a spiritual investment. Whatever I have given to you spiritually, when you call me and you hear the distress in my voice, when you understand the details and you understand that there is stress and pain in my details, you need to at that point become a spiritual investment. This is the time for the exchange. Don't pull away from me. Don't try to distract me. Don't try to burden me. Invest. Pour back what was poured into you. And a lot of us don't have those individuals around us. A lot of us don't have those connections. Our engagement is one way. It's one-sided and it's imbalanced, and it is a imbalanced spiritual investment. So I get to the point where engaging with you will do what for my spirit? Hanging out with you, going out with you, speaking with you, showing up for you, having and giving towards you is going to do what for my spirit? What is this? Has to be a spiritual investment that I can make sense of. Where you live, how you live, who you live with, who you are vulnerable to, who is giving what you need. I reached a point in my week where it's like, oh, you feel defeated because what you need. Yes, you've been disciplined. You've been honest. You've been loyal. You've been focused. You've been diligent. You've been all of these things. But have you plugged those things into areas that are going to give that back to you? Because you're going to have a spiritual imbalance. You're going to be defeated. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to be having a lack of a great investment. Stock market crash on your spirit. I was there. You've been there. You know it's not healthy and it's not a conducive or productive place to be. You are a human being having a spiritual experience, and your spirit needs nurturing because there is only so much flesh and blood and bone can take. Flesh, blood, and bone. There's only so much you can endure there. That's breakable, bustable, destructible. It's penetrable, not impenetrable. It's penetrable. You don't want to leave it all there. This is why they say put your money in a bank account. You got your money in a shoebox, it's going down in the fire. It's getting lost. It's getting stolen. It's physically in a box. You put it in a bank, it's insured. It's in a vibration. It's in a place that can't be touched, that can accumulate growth and value. This is what happens when we take our greatness and we put it in the physical. We hold it. We value it there. We nurture it there. As soon as a fire happens, it's going down. If not for my spiritual fortitude, if not for my spiritual health, if not for intention towards my spiritual balance, when life starts kicking my whole behind, I'm going down. If it's all physical. Because in the physical, I'm disappointed. In the physical, I'm abandoned. In the physical, I'm mistreated. In the physical, I'm abused. In the physical, I'm neglected. I'm overlooked. I'm exploited. In the physical. So if I got all my goods stored up here, it's reached the end of the road. It's done. But my spiritual fortitude in my iCloud, and for me, my H cloud, okay? Because I have a backup, because I have the greatest parts of me, the strongest parts of me, the most meaningful, meaning all the things that I mean to myself and the world are really stored in my cloud. So you can break my phone. You can judge my phone. You can drop my phone. You can put water on my phone. I have all the greatest of me stored in my cloud. I'll just get another phone and I'll download from my cloud the most important things. Because that's the spirit. This is my spiritual. I invest in myself spiritually. There's nothing you can do to me physically. And when we get to that point where the physical is broken and it is weak and it is down and it is feeble and it is shattering, it is that spiritual fortitude we have to bring balance back. But our spiritual investments play a major role in how we get back, how we keep balance. What are you giving into? How is it giving into you? Stop and look. Stop and reevaluate, because your time is going to come, Superwoman. Your time will definitely be here, Superman. When you're going to need to take that S off your chest, put the cape down. What is around you? Who is around you? Where are you that you're safe to do that? Where have you spiritually invested yourself that when the exchange is needed, the exchange is possible? Do that. Spiritual withdrawals. Y'all, I just talked about this earlier. Those withdrawals, y'all, we are taking out. We are taking out. We are saying all day, Lord, give me the strength. Lord, working with clients. Lord, give me the strength, working with our children, our mates, ourselves. And sometimes we need some strength to go ahead and do and speak to ourselves and heal ourselves and be one and honest with ourselves. We're always asking for strength. We're pulling it. We're always asking for fortitude. We're pulling it. We're always asking for the consistency of self. We're taken from ourselves. Others are taken from us. It is just withdrawal after withdrawal after withdrawal. Well, guess what? You withdraw more than you have, and you'll get a big decline. Ding, ding, ding. And life will give you a big, loud decline. You know how individuals hate that decline? Your card is declined. I saw those TikToks. My kids watch those TikToks. Your card is declined, excuse me, and then there's all the embarrassment that your card was declined. Life will decline your behind at the most inconvenient time. Bars. Life will decline you quick. Life will write loud. Right when something is going on and you need to be able to pull on your best self, your most mature self, your most philosophic self, and you would show up as your smallest self, decline. Right when you have to pull some strength out of somewhere, right when you have to be an example for something, right when you need to give your best thought and your best creativity, decline. Right when you need to be the best partner and demonstrate patience and remember your history and remember your purpose, and you go all the way off to the left, decline. Life will decline your behind. Ashe. Because you have made more withdrawals than you have deposits, and you aren't making the right deposits because you aren't making the right investments. Spiritually. So having constant people pull on you and you're not putting in you. Guys, this sounds like simple math. It is not. There are withdrawals. Do you know when you're watching something? I was watching the story of the mother who was murdered 2 weeks ago, the bus driver, 40 years old, mother of 4. It pulled on my spirit daily, literally to the point where I felt silly for feeling so sick and feeling so sad about this woman's life ending and her children growing up without her. One of my biggest things is let me raise my children. Lord, let me raise my children. Don't let my children, because of my mommy issues, because of my maternal deficiencies, I don't ever want my children to not have their mother. It's a thing I hold. It's a trauma I bear and have to heal through. I'm always present, overly present sometimes, because I want my children to have a mom. I want them to be supported. I want them to be healthy. I want them to be well-rounded. And I think I have to be there for that to happen. My own stuff. So when I heard this woman got murdered, it was too much. I have no way other than going to pray when that weight is on my chest, I need balance. I need to be spiritually restored because that was a major withdrawal that took from me that experience, that exposure to that story. To know that a man that she loved and trusted and laid with took her life and took her from her children at work, hustling. It was too much for me to even wrap my mind around. This woman is working to take care of her children, to be her best self. She's a whole person. She's 40 years old. She's young. She's getting to good stages in life, and her life was taken. It weighed on me. And those that are close to me know that other people's stories take tolls on me. I don't know why I didn't make myself. I'm just built that way. It was heavy. The same week, one of my son's best friends was arrested, charged with first-degree murder. A child. He's like 20. First-degree murder. He's going away. Wait. Now, that's not even my personal life, guys. These are just in situations that I care about. And they have been massive withdrawals. Now, get into my personal life, and them withdrawals just ching, 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 right? Taking out. And if there's imbalance, there will be a decline. So then we have to become cognizant of the withdrawals. I brought those points up to say, You are getting withdrawals when you don't know they're happening, when you're watching TV, when you're listening to the news, when you're hearing someone else's story, when you're at work and you're being to a patient, a client, or a customer, empathetic and available, you are having withdrawals. Withdrawals, your strength, your compassion, your patience, it's coming out. And if you are not deliberately, intentionally, consistently putting back, baby, you are hurting. You're going to be hurting. And then you start hurting the people around you. And then your environment starts hurting because you're hurting. Too many withdrawals, wrong investments, not enough deposits. Which brings us to our last point so we can get out of this moment. This moment is going long. Our last point is spiritual repair. Now, in our financial metaphor, we use credit repair. We use credit repair. We talk about, when your credit has been bad or when you've had some stains, blemishes, things go wrong that have lowered that average. Ashe. That have lowered that average. You're talking about repair. You need a repair now. You can't just be sitting around with a broken spirit. You cannot just continue to function. It's not going to happen. Trust me, you'll change. If your spirit is depleted, if your spirit has experienced an overdraft, if your experience has in any way been imbalanced, you are changed. If you think you're going to keep moving on and you have broken trust, you will not function in the way in which you need to function for your fulfillment. If you have broken dreams, if you have hurt, harsh feelings, if you have any of those things that bring cracks into your spirit and you think you're going to keep going to that job while you feel a certain way about it and be okay, you think you're going to stay in that relationship while you feel a certain way about it and be okay, you think you're going to continue to parent your children and you feel a certain way about the life, about the security, about the stability, and you think you're going to be okay, you feel a certain way about your gift or your talents and your vocation, you feel discouraged, you've lost your faith, and you think you're going to keep going and you're going to be okay, you will change. This is how bitter people are born. This is how evilness is brewed, it festers. This is how agitation, anger, and low vibration take over. It's because when you began to break, you didn't bring back balance. You didn't raise that average. When that average started to get low, and y'all know with that credit score, let it be low. See if you can do anything great. See if you can do anything great, because you can't even get a job nowadays with a low credit score. See if you're just going to let that vibration be low and you be okay. You need repair. You need repair. What repairs you? Being here with you today, speaking with you in my moments, that's repair for me. Some of us are going to seek therapists. Beautiful. It's repair. Some of us are going to some type of spiritual practice or institution tomorrow on Sunday. Repair. Some of us will have a Sunday dinner with family and laugh and vent and grow. Repair. Some of us will cuddle up with our mate, our significant others, and will watch movies and gather and speak. That is repair. Come together and heal in all types of ways. Some of us will sit and just be honest and journal and reflect, repair. Guys, when you've had too many withdrawals, you've made the wrong investments. Now, come on now. You've trusted the wrong people. You've given to the wrong energies. You've exposed yourself to the wrong environments. You made very little deposits. You've deposited here and there a lot less than what you've needed to live off of. When you reach that place, like I said yesterday, of this ain't gonna work no more for me. Because I swear, y'all, it was 2 seconds. Calling out of work, turning my phone completely off, and straight up disappearing into nobody can reach me land. When you've gotten there, before you get there, before when you're getting there, spiritual repair. You need to be intentional about repairing your spirit. If something has come to you deep enough to touch your spirit, it is serious. Stop taking it lightly. Stop putting it on a back burner. Stop chalking it up to life and trauma and childhood or whatever else you want to chalk it up to. It's a big deal. Think about your spirit is inside of your vessel. Your spirit is within, above. It is untouchable is what I'm saying. So if it's been touched, it's a big deal. Think about having on a boot. I'm in Baltimore. This is where I live. Tims are big things. What they call them? Butters, right? Butters. Tims, big deal here. And I'm sure other cities too, but think about having big, tennis shoes on, big boots with socks. If it rained, most people don't expect their socks to get wet. Only in a storm or it was really, really bad do people expect their socks to get wet. We know this because people came and say, it was raining so bad, even my socks were wet. My socks were soaking. Why is that such a big deal? Because I had an outer layer that was protecting it, and the rain penetrated. And it not only penetrated, it saturated. That's what we're talking about with our spirits. It's a big deal if it touched your soul. If it touched your soul. If it broke your spirit. If it discouraged your dream. If it impeded your walk. If it disturbed your thoughts and where you're going. It's a big deal and it needs spiritual repair. And this has to be an intentional thought. This has to be a consistent progress when we're talking about the repairing of our spirit. We're not going to just go to church on Sunday and do something that feel good. It can add and then go the rest of the week on your broken wing. Nobody's doing that. You're not about to break your arm and go initially to the doctor. You got PT, you're going to therapy every week, or else you got that cast where you can't move it for weeks at a time until it heals. Repair, Asante, love. Repair your spirit. Intentional. I heard one of my coworkers yesterday say, you know what I'm going to do this weekend? I'm going to go. I love water because we all had a rough week at work. A rough week at work. A rough week at work. Not only was it a rough week for everyone, but then I had my other depletions at home that culminated into my F this whole situation day. But I had one of my coworkers that said, what I'm going to do this week, you know what I need? Because he's a smoker. And the doctor told him he can't smoke anymore. He has to get down to one a day. And he also has diabetes. The doctor told him he can't do so. All his go-tos, the doctor is taking them away from him. No sweets, no smoke. He said, so you know what I'm going to do, Harmony? I like water. And I'm going to go walk and have quiet time in nature. And I'm thinking you probably, if you did that first, wouldn't need that cigarette and won't need those sweets. And I'm talking to myself. I ain't judging him. I'm saying, but what we do is what our spirit needs. We do in moments of extreme. We do in moments of desperation. We do as the last thought. After we've destroyed our physical and caused more harm on our spirit. And I'm thinking, dang, Don, you needed that from the beginning. You needed to what was it going to take for you to go park your car at Canton one day after work or one Saturday, take everything off your to-do list and walk around that water, be under the stream lights, see individuals and bring some repair to your spirit? What would it take for you to cut the TV off, sit and read with your children, or just read a book all day, eat something healthy that makes your body feel good, and enjoy some rest on your spirit and your body? But we do that when you have COVID. You'll do it when you got a broken bone, when you're on maternity leave. You'll do all of that. That's why I loved the pandemic. And people keep thinking I'm crazy. I do not love that people were sick or died. I do not love all the confusion and chaos. I loved the time with self, unadulterated, undisrupted, untainted energy and time with self, because my spirit was happy with my environment. I was happy with my choices. I was able to do what brought me the most peace. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about a schedule. It wasn't even about saving the whole world. It was about being at peace with myself, and I loved it. Spiritual repair. Spiritual repair. Do it first. Do it consistently. Do it as if your life depends on it, because it does. Do it as if your sanity depends on it, because it does. All right, y'all. This has been my moment. We've gone over about 5 minutes or so. I love you all so much. Please keep in mind that, again, like I said at the beginning, we have that prayer and purge, our annual prayer and purge, which is a Moment of Harmony presentation, is coming. We are on the countdown towards it. Register, get signed up for that, because we are going to be doing some major spiritual work on January the 7th. Also, we are having a sleepover for my Moments members. You always can inbox me to become a Moments members. We are doing what we do here today, hanging, kicking, eating, but we are doing it in the form of a sleepover. We're not going to have to turn it off anytime soon. So we're going to be having a deep moment sleepover, but we must have enough people sign up for the sleepover to actually happen, because these are, financial obligations for us, as well as spiritual engagement. Ashe. So we have our deep moment sleepovers coming for the weekend of November 18th to 20th. If you want to be a part of that, inbox, become a Moments member. It doesn't require any funds. It just requires your energy and your commitment, consistency. And we're not even asking a lot, because look, I run it and I don't have a lot to give. So we're asking just for your great intention and devotion. And you can go here, Ashe. So you want to make sure, if you want to be a part of that deep moment sleepover, we got to get those numbers up in order to do that. And that pray and purge, a lot of you have already begun registering. Thank you. I love you. And for the rest of you, you want to get in on that annual pray and purge after your watch night, after you watch the ball drop, after you've done all that good stuff. You come on and set some stuff down and pick some good stuff up. I love you all so much. I will see you next Saturday at 10, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Like my mama says, I'll see you next Saturday for another Moment of Harmony.